4 years. 4 years is how long Samsung went unchallenged. 4 years of foldable phones that never advanced, never progressed, but then 2023 came along, and with it, the introduction of the Google Pixel Fold. A fantastic first generation offering from Google, but it had its flaws. While it improved certain things such as the outer screen, the inner screen and battery life and processor left a little bit to be desired. Fast forward a few months, and at the end of September, OnePlus released their first ever foldable phone globally. The OnePlus Open has absolutely revolutionised how the global market view foldable phones. Samsung, stand up, take notice. This is my 3 months later review of the OnePlus Open. What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video. And yes, 3 fantastic months with the OnePlus Open. From design, hardware, software, every special feature, battery life, price, we're going to discuss it all in depth. So grab your shortbread and your can of Iron Brew and let's talk. Now, the first place to start with the OnePlus Open is, well, taking out the box. Firstly, the unboxing experience provides a charger, something that a lot of phone manufacturers forget about these days. When you buy a device, you might want to be able to charge the fucking thing. And a very premium foldable phone case. And FYI, finding a decent case for a foldable phone can be quite challenging. Now, when you get to the phone, obviously there's 2 versions when it comes to the OnePlus. You can have the emerald green glass back, or the variant I now have, I did have the glass back, I now have the Voyager black vegan leather. And I have to say, in my opinion, I much prefer the look of the Voyager black with that vegan leather and the chamfered aluminium rails. Not silver, not shiny, nice muted black, gunmetal grey if you like sides. Absolutely zero fingerprints on the rear or sides, unlike some other stainless steel phones. Holding the phone in the hand just feels premium. Now, when you do have the phone in your hands, you might think that this behemoth foldable phone is going to weigh somewhat close to a brick. It doesn't. 240 grams. That's approximately the weight you're going to have with the Voyager black version here. A couple of grams more for the glass back. And dimensions wise, it's a 6.3 inch outer display with a 20:9 aspect ratio. So, again, I'm not going to talk about them too much anymore, but Samsung, yeah, they've been outdone. And I can tell you, using the outer screen on a daily basis has been an absolute pleasure. The reason I purchased 4, yes, you heard me correctly, 4 Google Pixel Folds is mainly due to the outer screen. The fact that I didn't have to constantly unfold the device. Now, don't get twisted. The whole point of being a foldable phone fan and buying foldable phones is to have the option of unfolding it and having that much larger canvas. And we will talk about that larger canvas on the OnePlus Open. But when it comes to the Samsung lineup of devices, you have to unfold that device all the time. There's very little in practical day-to-day usage that the outer screen of the Z Fold 5 can do, unlike the OnePlus Open. I find myself unfolding the phone probably 10% of the times I use it. Everything I need to do on a regular basis can be fulfilled with that outer, as mentioned, 120Hz OLED panel with a 2800 nit peak brightness, and its LTPO. The outer panel will go from 10Hz all the way up to 120Hz, which absolutely helps with battery life. And again, stay tuned because we'll talk about that too. Now, on those occasions where I do need to open the phone, and In my real life scenario, I use the inner screen for multitasking and consuming content. That's basically the two main areas. Don't get me wrong, I'll sometimes open it to surf through Instagram or Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it nowadays. But mostly it's multitasking, consuming content. Consuming content on this 7.8 inch inner screen with 120Hz. Again, 2800 nits peak brightness. 1 Hz all the way up to 120Hz. It's an absolute dream. And I guess most importantly, because it's a foldable phone, the crease is almost non-existent. I have owned roughly 15 foldable phones in the past 2 years, and I can honestly say the OnePlus Open has the least noticeable and feelable, if that's a word, crease. Even running your fingers across the inner screen, it's hard to see, so consuming content or multitasking, you're never going to notice it. Now, while I talk about consuming content, I'm kind of going against what I'd normally say. For 95% of any phone videos, heck, probably 100%, I always say that I rarely listen to the phone's speakers other than in the shower in the morning, purely because I wear headphones. If I'm out and about, I think it's just a bit rude to listen to your phone on loud, and I'm sure you do too. But in the house, if I'm listening to music, just pottering around, podcasts, doing some chores, I typically go grab a tablet, the iPad Pro or the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. Now this is going somewhere. What I've started to do for the last few months using the OnePlus Open is use this device, because the phone speakers, the triple speaker setup with spatial audio, Dolby Atmos, is, and I've said this before, and a couple of people have commented back saying the Asus ROG phone has better speakers. You're wrong. Just because speakers go maybe louder doesn't make them better audio quality. You're looking for depth of sound, separation between instruments, vocals, pitch. There's just so many other things that go into it. And with the spatial audio, you can have it set to fixed or to go around you 360. Now, it's not like wearing AirPods Max and getting that full spatial audio, but for a mobile phone, it's an absolute pleasure. So consuming content, listening to podcasts or music from the built-in triple speaker system on the OnePlus Open is, for my money, in real life, for the last 3 months, been the best experience from a mobile phone ever. Now, obviously, it would be remiss of me not to now talk about the big boy. Yes, that hump on the back, the triple camera setup. And over the past 3 months, and this is to be expected, we've gone on a journey, let me say. So for context, for the first couple of weeks, maybe even up to a month, I was impressed with the camera setup because it's on a foldable. But it still lagged behind the Pixel 8 Pro, the S24 Ultra, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. By the way, phones which are all behind me, and I'm recording on the 15 Pro Max. Probably sell them at some point, but I've kept most of the phones the year for myself. Anyway, 2 months into my OnePlus Open journey, I done a night mode shot comparison video, I done a camera test with the OnePlus Open, and I believe I've had 4 updates in the past 3 months, maybe more. And each time the camera has got better and better. You've been seeing some shots all of the shots, the videos, the portraits, the night shots have all come from this OnePlus Open triple camera lens. The 6x hybrid or 6x lossless zoom is real. It's no joke. For me, it stands up against the iPhone, the Google Pixel. And if we're just talking strictly foldables, I don't think we can argue that this is the best camera setup on any foldable device. The only debate we'll have, and I'm not going down that road again, is with the Huawei Mate X5, but it's £600-700 more expensive and not the most compatible with a UK buyer. Now, as I say, the updates keep coming, where in the first couple of weeks, shots were a bit grainy, videos would have more noise, stabilisation didn't look as great as I thought, and to be honest, night mode, I was kind of worried. But then week by week, update by update, we now have a true flagship camera setup. If you've used the Oppo Find X6 Pro, much akin to that. And in real life, I've used it on every scenario, and in every scenario I should say. From nights out to family trips to roller coaster rides and everything I can think of. This is my daily driver. I have been using it all the time. And I think the best compliment I could give the OnePlus Open is taking this out of my pocket feels 99.9% the way as reliable as taking an iPhone out of my pocket. That's why I'll always shoot my videos using an iPhone. I've always got an iPhone on deck somewhere because the reliability of being able to snap photos and videos is just seamless. The OnePlus Open is that on the Android/foldable market. And for me, someone that loves foldable devices, thank you. Because I can harp on about how great the Honor Magic V2 is, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 3, and the Vivos, and everything else in the world. But in my opinion, the OnePlus Open beats all of those for cameras. Now, before we get to the last key points, including battery life and the price, few things I want to talk about because there will be questions in the comments. Due to the nature of the content I create, there's a lot of time where it's a Chinese ROM device, where there's workarounds you have to do, Android Auto won't work, Google Pay might not work, all the good things. With the OnePlus Open, just to get out there, everything works. It's a global ROM device, Android Auto, Google Pay, Google Play Store, everything you want on board is there. I know you might be watching this thinking, what's this guy talking about? But trust me, look back at all my videos, look at the comments. I love Chinese ROM devices. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, there wasn't any global foldables to choose from other than Samsung. So thanks to the OnePlus Open and the Google Pixel Fold, we now have some choice. But this is a global ROM. If you want to get a Chinese version, you can go for the Oppo Find N3 and get a terabyte version in that nice red you've seen pictures of throughout this video. I had that for a month and it is stunning in that red colour, but it's a Chinese ROM and it doesn't have Android Auto. If that's not a deal breaker for you, you could probably get yourself a very good deal for an Oppo Find N3 on WONDA Mobile. Link in description. I get a tenner if you buy, by the way. Not that should influence your decision. So, last 2 points. Number one, battery life. And this is where we come to the, in my opinion, the OnePlus's only flaw. I know that sounds extreme, but I genuinely think this might be the only flaw. And still, for the life of me, can't figure out why they've omitted this. Wireless charging. For me, in real life, it's not a deal breaker. I typically plug it in every other day, and we'll talk about battery life. But I've got a wireless charger on my desk. I'm at my desk about 8 to 12 hours a day. It would be sometimes quite handy to just pop it on a wireless charger. Why OnePlus have omitted this when they've got 50, 80 watt wireless charging, I don't really know, but they did. They've not included it. For me, again, we've talked about the V2 and the Mix Fold 3. They are thinner devices. The Mix Fold 3 has wireless charging at 50 watts, so I'm not taking the whole excuse that it's to save thickness and weight, because a copper coil adds about 5 grams if you're lucky. Anywho, it doesn't have it. What it does have, as mentioned in the unboxing part of the video, it's got a charger in the box and it will charge at 67 watts. What does that actually mean in English? If you've got 20% in your phone left of battery and you pop it on charge for half an hour, it'll be 100%. If your phone's fully dead and you charge it for half an hour, it'll get to about 70% in half an hour. Now, when your phone is at 100%, with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip and all the performance and efficiencies it brings, paired with a near 5,000 milliamp hour, it's 4,800 milliamp hours, you can easily run this phone for 2 days. Given usage, heavy gaming, consuming content, you might not make 2 days, but I have yet to kill this phone in a single day. And that's all I ask for. From all my flagship phones that I mentioned behind me in recording this video, if you give me a day's battery life without worrying about it or having any battery anxiety, I'm in. And the OnePlus Open, which I can't say for every foldable I've ever used, gives me zero battery anxiety for that day of use. And then the last thing to talk about and touch on is the price. The OnePlus Open, again, this sounds like a really biased video. I have no affiliation with OnePlus. I am just giving you my honest long-term review. But the OnePlus Open was sold new RRP at £1,600 or $1,700 if you're watching in the US. I don't know anyone that's had to pay that. There has been a deal on from day one, whether it be Black Friday, trade-ins, Christmas, student discount, there's always been a deal. I think right now there's £200 or $300 off it. So you're always going to get the OnePlus Open for around £1,400 or $1,400. And to put it in context, that's £350 cheaper than the Z Fold 5 and the Pixel Fold. A newer device, an 8 Gen 2 chip, everything I've just talked about over the last 3 months of use, the multitasking, the speakers, while I am not sitting here saying that £1,400 is not a lot of money, it is. For me, if you're in the market for a compatible, foldable phone, the OnePlus Open has to be at the top of your list. So that's been the 3-month long-term review. I will no doubt do a 6-month and a 12-month. And I know I'll do that because the OnePlus is going nowhere. This will be in my inventory for the rest of the year. Certainly not this year. I mean like for a 12-month period. Because the OnePlus Open 2 will be out next year. And I bet my bottom dollar it's going to have wireless charging. Making it potentially the perfect foldable. So, if you've enjoyed my long-term review and you want to see more, smash subscribe. Hit the like button while you're there, because it takes a lot of effort to make these videos. Smallest violin in the world playing. And until next time.